Welcome to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One from Founders Park in Columbia, South Carolina. Game 2 of this best of 3. South Carolina needs a win to keep their season alive. If Oklahoma State wins, they're in the College World Series along with Arizona and now UC Santa Barbara. Cowboys looking to go to Omaha for the first time since 1999. And we're still stunned, as is most of the college baseball world, by Sam Cohn's walk-off grand slam. We're ready to go from Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina, the visiting team in this game on their home field. So Oklahoma State out there defensively, and Tyler Buffett on the mound.
Tyler Buffett, 7th round pick of the Astros, called a winner by his coach Josh Holliday. What he means by that is he can use him in short relief, he can use him as a closer, and today, his 4th start of the year, he uses Tyler Buffett when Oklahoma State has the best chance to win a game. 87 and 89 with a cutter into lefties and a little sink to righties. Can pump it up to the low 90s if he needs a strike. Throws 4 pitches, 12-6, curve, change, and fastball.
Take a look at the South Carolina lineup. He'll face Gene Cohn right at the top of the order. Has been outstanding. Comes in with a 13-game hitting streak. Had a school record 31-game hitting streak earlier in the year. 13-gamer coming in. Cohn has been a mainstay at the top of the order.
Gene Cohn, 31-game hit streak early in the year. The only way you do that is to be a great hitter and use all fields. He's got more walks and strikeouts, which is unusual in baseball. That means you can hit. That means you got a great eye at the plate. Gene Cohn has been doing it for South Carolina all year long at the top of the lineup, and that's who they need to be hot today.
That is former LSU and Major League Baseball infielder Todd Walker. I'm Mark Daly. Great to have you with us. We're set to go from Founders Park in Columbia, South Carolina. Oklahoma State won here yesterday 5-1. And again can clinch this Super Regional with a win here today. South Carolina trying to keep their season alive. First pitch a little bit low. We're underway. .370 average to lead the Gamecocks, and extended his hitting streak, going 1 for 3 with a walk yesterday as Buffett pours in a strike. A bit inside. Tyler Buffett, 6'2", nearly 200-pound junior from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Selected by the Houston Astros in the 7th round of the Major League Baseball draft on Friday. And this is inside, and it's 3-1 on Cohn.
And Mark, you can tell already the South Carolina's scouting today, and their approach is going to be patience. Patience at the plate today. Make this guy throw in this 100-degree heat.
Does pour in a strike to run it full. Temperature mid-90s. Heat index up around the century mark. Heat's certainly a factor. Here comes the 3-2 to Cohn, leading off the game. Puts it on the ground out to second base, right at J.R. Davis. Stretched by Dustin Williams, and that's the way we begin. Here's that Cowboys defense. It's a good one. Donnie Walton is the senior leader. Only 7 errors on the season. This is a team that's turned 69 double plays. They turned 1 yesterday. That's 4th most in the nation.
And that speaks to Oklahoma State's pitching staff, inducing a lot of ground balls, including JR and Donnie Walton up the middle, making those great double plays. Quick hands.
Center fielder TJ Hopkins takes outside. TJ 1 for 4 yesterday. One of the true freshmen from Summerville, South Carolina. Shoots it foul down the right field side. Yesterday's game was scoreless into the 3rd. Oklahoma State scored 2 in the 3rd to take the lead. It stayed 2-0 until the 9th. And the Cowboys got a home run from their catcher, Colin Thoreau, to make it 5-0. The only South Carolina run was a leadoff homer at the bottom of the 9th from Dom Thompson-Williams, who's on deck now.
And Mark, it's always important in these games to get a lead. Ryan Sluter put Oklahoma State up yesterday, made it easier for Hassel to hit that base hit up the middle with 2 outs. It's always easier to get that key hit when you have the lead.
Wave and a miss. And South Carolina was behind most of the game yesterday. They did put the leadoff hitter on base 5 of 9 times, Todd. It just could not get that clutch hit when it mattered most.
Well, and again, that's just getting a lead and having a little less pressure on yourself at the plate. When you're behind, especially here at home, it's tough to get that base hit.
In the air to right. Hassel in the corner. Has a beat on it and makes the catch. 2 outs. It's going to bring up Dom Thompson-Williams. Only run of the game yesterday for South Carolina. He's leading off. Bottom of the ninth, he gets one out to left.
Well, that's what they need from Dom Thompson-Williams again. I mean, it almost looked like visibly like he was shaking a little bit his first few at bats. He was asked to bunt in one situation, first and second, nobody out. And in that home run, he finally relaxed at a 5-0 game and, put it out to left field. And that's what they need him to do all day today, is be relaxed.
Yeah, he hits the breaking ball. First pitch rolled to first. A little fumble there by Dustin Williams, but he steps on. And South Carolina goes in order in the top of the first. Oklahoma State coming up. We headed to the bottom of the first inning from Columbia. South Carolina goes in order in the top of the first. Oklahoma State coming up. And this is a team pitching-wise that has been so dominant in their 4 wins.
Well, Oklahoma State has just been doing it on the mound, and that's what baseball is, pitching. And Oklahoma State has been dominant. 4 tournament games, only 5 runs given up. That's best in the country. And Oklahoma State fills up that home plate. Throws a lot of strikes. Yesterday, Thomas Hatch threw 61% strikes, and that's the key for their success.
Glad you could join us on this steamy Sunday from South Carolina. That's Todd Walker, former LSU and Major League Baseball infielder. I'm Mark Neely. The pitching is one part of the equation. They're also hitting .357 as a team, are the Cowboys, and have committed only 1 error. It's been pitching. It's been defense. It's been all in.
And that's how you win, right?
Yeah.
18-5 Oklahoma State is on the road since March the 1st, and that's incredible. That's an incredible stat for Oklahoma State. They're hot right now. We talked to Coach Holliday yesterday, and I mean, that guy knows how confident they are. You could just he just exudes confidence, and that carries over to his team.
Davis going to lead off, a notice at the bottom of the order. Colin Thoreau. It's just the same batting order that Josh Holliday had yesterday. Thoreau had a 3-run homer in the 9th to kind of ice things. And South Carolina throws Clark Schmidt, a sophomore out of Ackworth, Georgia.
Clark Schmidt's been their ace for South Carolina all year long. He's their Friday night starter. He's very athletic. Shortstop at Alatoona High School in Georgia. He's got a mixed bag of pitches, which means he throws a 2-seamer, a 4-seamer, a slider, a change. That's typical for most people, but Clark Schmidt will throw it at any count, at any point. Very accurate, a 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
Bottom of the first, J.R. Davis leading off. Takes a strike at the knees. J.R. from Northern California. Went 0 for 3 yesterday in the opener of this Super Regional, but he was hit by a pitch, laid down a sac bunt, and scored a run. And Schmidt quickly gets ahead 0-2. Protecting with 2 strikes and fouls it right side.
J.R. Davis was a 15th round pick by the St. Louis Cardinals. Yesterday's draft, he's going to get an opportunity to play pro ball.
Wave and a miss, pops out of the mitt of John Jones, who has to flip to first to complete the strikeout, and does so.
Very good off-speed pitch here from Clark Schmidt. Little slider there. John Jones had a tough time handling it, but just great off-speed pitch there after throwing 2 fastballs to J.R. Davis.
Corey Hassel, the right fielder.
Corey Hassel with a big base hit in the 3rd inning yesterday to give Oklahoma State their 2nd run with 2 outs.
The base hit gave him a 1-for-5 game overall, so he comes in with a 13-game hitting streak and has reached base safely in 19 in a row. Fastball hit towards deep short, backhanded. Marcus Mooney makes the throw. 2 down. Nice play by the Carolina shortstop.
Big play by Marcus Mooney, especially to his right. Backhanded, accurate throw to first base. That's a tough play. Nice play by Marcus Mooney.
And he's flanked by a couple of very good defenders as well. And Arendis at second base. Jonah Bride at 3rd. Take another look at this.
Marcus Mooney stays low, backhand, gets rid of the ball quick and accurately right to first base. And again, it's important to get rid of it quick. If the throw's offline, the first baseman has time to tag that runner.
Strike 1 to Donnie Walton, the Pokes shortstop. The senior drafted for the 3rd time in the Major League Baseball draft. taken on Friday. And the 5th round by Seattle. He's quickly in the hole, 0-2.
And we said Clark Schmidt's a strike thrower. That's 6 strikes in a row for Clark Schmidt.
That tails outside. Breaking ball rolled out to second base, and Arendas. Each side goes in order in the first. After 1 from Columbia. No score.
The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase every day. And in part by Icebreakers Mints. Break the ice.
That's the torchbearer statue here at the University of South Carolina College of Education. And Sam Cohn's walk-off grand slam has stunned the #2 national seed Louisville and UC Santa Barbara. It's going to be the team that one of these two will play in their first game in Omaha. And Arizona up into Mississippi State yesterday, winning both games in Starkville. Brought to you by Capital One. First pitch breaking ball down low. We're into the top of the second. South Carolina, the 4, 5, and 6 inners, and the DH Alex Destino leading off.
And you can already see, Mark, that South Carolina is going to be real patient with Tyler Buffett today. Already taking a lot of pitches early in this game, which I think is important.
3-0.
Tyler Buffett does have 29 walks in 67 innings. That's a little high.
All Big 12 first team this year is Buffett, a unanimous selection. Leads the conference in appearances, #2 in saves, top 10 opponent batting average. Going to play left side. Tyler Buffett was the starting pitcher 8 days ago on Saturday, June 4th at Clemson. It was the winning pitcher. 12-2 was the final. He went 7 strong innings. The irony here is that his opposing pitcher is the older brother of Clark Schmidt, Clay Schmidt. And there is strike 3. So after falling behind 3-0, Buffett comes back and gets the strikeout. Those are the numbers when he faced Clay Schmidt, the older brother, who was the senior at Clemson. He faces Clark Schmidt today.
That's a great quality 3-2 fastball in there. A little cutter inside. Freezes up Destino. Probably frees up anybody right there. And that's just a quality 3-2 pitch.
And he falls behind, ball 1. John Jones is the catcher getting the start. This is his first start at the catcher position since May 21st at Alabama. Went 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs in that game. He primarily has DH'd and pinch hit. He pinch hit here in the 9th inning with 2 outs yesterday. Had a base hit. He's in the lineup today. A guy who got off to as hot a start as you can get off to this year. And then cooled down, but that one he hits towards right center field. Sluter over in the alley to make the catch. So well hit by Jones, but it hung up long enough for Sluter to chase it down, 2 outs. Bases are empty for Jonah Bride, the third baseman. Check swing strike, so this time Buffett gets ahead.
Jonah Bride, 288 on the season, started all 62 games for South Carolina this year. 46 wins for South Carolina.
Strike. The breaking ball in the inside corner. Bride yesterday in the opener of this Super Regional went 1 for 4. He takes down and away on 0-2. Two times this year, Buffett was the Big 12 pitcher of the week. Won on March 7th, won the award again on March 28th. Pitch elevated, popped up, foul ground, first base side, and landed in play, but Thoreau could not get to it, nor the first baseman Dustin Williams. The team switched dugouts since Oklahoma State's the home team in this game, so the first base dugout is the Oklahoma State dugout, so you assume that Thoreau is going to get some help over there.
Well, it almost looked like Thoreau thought that might go into the stands there, and then he kind of leaned on it. The ball's kind of leaning toward, the stands as he's running after it. Ends up falling in fair territory.
Out towards third base, Garrett Binge. Tyler Buffett has set down the first 6 South Carolina hitters, and 4, 5, 6 coming up for the Pokes. Teams are already in. Arizona, whose last trip was 2012 when they played South Carolina in the championship series, and UC Santa Barbara has stunned Louisville, so they're in. More coverage of the Division I baseball super regionals and interactive brackets. Go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Garrett Binge, the leadoff hitter for Oklahoma State, 502 with 19 home runs last year in junior college. This guy can hit.
You were saying hitting 500s, hitting 500 wherever it may be. JUCO and Binge getting near that 300 mark now on the season here for the Cowboys.
And getting Oklahoma State off to a good start. It's always important to get that guy on base with no outs. There's a lot of options now for Josh Holliday.
Big numbers for Connor Costello, the DH, 10 for 16 in the postseason. He was selected yesterday by the Dodgers in the 32nd round. Comes into this game with a 9-game hitting streak. Paint on the outside corner from Schmidt, strike 1.
And one thing you could probably assume is they are not going to sack bunt here. Josh Holliday likes to get the first run in, and get that go over second would be important. But in this particular case, like you mentioned, Costello 10 for 16 in the NCAA tournament.
And a balk is going to do the job for getting the runner to second. And Schmidt wants to know why he was called for the balk. Walking out towards second base umpire Jake Uhlenhop. Now the plate umpire Danny Collins talking with Chad Holbrook, the head coach.
Yeah, a little hesitation there going into a standstill motion, and that right there cost him. Once you start your motion, you're not allowed to stop until you come to the set position.
So balk puts Binge at second. 0-1 count on Costello. 0-2.
Quality slider away for Clark Schmidt there. 0-2 on probably the best hitter in the postseason this year for Oklahoma State.
See the multiple hits in 7 of his last 9 games. In fact, the last 5 games in a row he has multi-hits. And in the hole here to Schmidt, 0-2. Well, that one almost looked like it was leaking back towards the outside corner. Jones was setting up well off the outside edge, but this nearly came back for a strike.
Yep, Clark let that go outside. It came back over the plate. Certainly looks like it's above the knees, but doesn't get the call there. Probably fooled the umpire a little bit by where it started, which was outside and off the plate.
And Stellar request time. Foul pass first. Well, keeping Connor Costello healthy has been the main issue this year. When he's been healthy, he's been dominant, but he missed 18 games earlier in the year with a broken hamate bone in his hand. Came back from that and then sprained a knee that sidelined him for a while. I mentioned drafted by the Dodgers yesterday. Third time he's been drafted in his career. And ran inside 2-2.
You don't want to put him on automatically, but Clark does have some leeway here. He could come in and go away. You know, he doesn't have to split the plate because there is a base open. There is no outs, and you certainly don't want to put a guy on base, but it gives Clark Schmidt a little relaxation on the mound to be able to throw what he wants to throw here.
Slowly hit towards third, right by the bag, and Bride looks the runner back, throws across, and retires Costello. Finch has to hold one away.
And that was a very good surgical job by Clark Schmidt, having to be very careful with Connor Costello with a guy on second and nobody out. Not only that, not allow him to hit it to the right side to advance Garrett Benj over to third base. Good job by Clark Schmidt there.
Cowboys first baseman Dustin Williams coming off a 2-hit game here yesterday. That seemed to cross up Jones. He's going to go out to the mound.
And that's the second pitch in 2 days that we've seen the catcher crossed up where the pitch was a strike.
But
Shows
didn't get the call.
But didn't get the call. And that's the importance of framing the pitch for a catcher. Don Jones, like you mentioned, hasn't been back there since mid-May.
Swings over the top. And the breaking ball.
Clark Schmidt just taking something off that slider. Almost acts like Braden Webb's 12-6, just up and down. Keeps it low.
Fastball down low. Williams drafted by the Pirates yesterday in the 36th round. Oklahoma State had 11 players selected in the Major League Baseball draft, which tied a school record. So they originally had 11 go back in 2007. Breaking ball falls low and he laid off 3-1.
As we get deeper in this lineup, I don't think you would expect Clark Schmidt to just give Dustin Williams a cookie here to score that first run. Again, it's important to get a lead in these games. With first base open and one out, like we mentioned in the open, Clark Schmidt can throw any pitch at any count. Ryan Sluter on deck.
Rides high, ball 4. And the first walk handed out by Schmidt. And it's 2 on 1 out. It brings up Ryan Sluter, who in his first at bat yesterday went yard.
On 2-1 pitch, just a fastball away. He got out, got the head on it, and hit it hard. And that's what you're supposed to do when a predictable fastball count. Ryan Sluter got Oklahoma State on the board yesterday, and they just carried it on through and won that game.
Yeah, that was leading off the top of the third. Gave them a 1-0 lead, a lead they would not relinquish. Going on to win 5-1. So an Oklahoma State win here today. They go to the College World Series for the first time since 1999. Wave and a miss.
And Ryan Sluter gets that chance to do it again, put his team ahead early in this game.
Home run yesterday, his 4th of the year. Jones going through the sides again, and Schmidt steps off. Two on, 1 out. Oklahoma State batting bottom of the second. They're the home team in this game. He's had a pretty good success here early with that breaking ball and kind of changing speeds on that breaking ball.
Well, you notice with Clark Schmidt too, he is only throwing 1 or 2 pitches above the waist. He's making a conscious effort to keep everything low to these hitters, especially in this double play situation.
one kind of leaked back over. It was up enough that Sluter fouled it back.
And this is what makes it tough for a hitter, especially with 2 strikes. There's no predictability with Clark Schmidt. Of course, that's why he's got 123 strikeouts on the year. You just have to stay back, be quick, expand the zone. Don't leave it up to the umpire to call you out.
That's to left center field, but will stay in the park today. Caught at the edge of the track by Don Thompson-Williams, and the runners hold. Well, off the bat, you can hear an audible gasp from this crowd, thinking that may get out after Sluter went deep yesterday.
Yeah, and it's amazing how emotional these first hits and first runs are. I mean, again, the crowd did react unusually to that play right there. They remember yesterday, and it was eerily a similar swing, a ball in the outside corner that Sluter pulls. Just barely missed that one.
These are extremely knowledgeable baseball fans. Most of the folks in the seats are aware of what happened when Sluter came up his first time yesterday. Nearly duplicated that today. That's fouled back by John Littell, the left fielder.
And Clark Schmidt's really mixing it up well. First pitch slider to Sluter, and now a first pitch fastball to Littell. He knows Littell's paying attention on deck. Might have thought he'd been anticipating the same pitch that Sluter got, and instead he throws the fastball, gets ahead.
Fastball at 92 is outside. The Oklahoma State team did a good job yesterday of keeping this big South Carolina crowd out of the game for the most part. Just a little bit high. Talking with Thomas Hatch, Oklahoma State starter, after the game, he said, hey, this was as impressive a crowd as I've ever pitched against. This is a tough place for opponents to win. Yesterday, just the 4th time they've lost in the postseason here at Founders Park, which opened in 2009. That slider, he is using like an artist today.
Any pitch and any count for Clark Schmidt, and again, he did not want to throw a ball there to go to 3-1. There's nowhere to put John Littell, and with 2 outs, that was a key strike. Now 2-2. He's got a couple options. Typically in that 2-1 count, that's a fastball for most pitchers, but Clark Schmidt has enough confidence in his slider to throw it right there.
Goes to the fastball there, and that's popped up. Towering pop up and foul ground. Stokes, the first baseman, struggled a bit with it, but makes the catch. Cowboys had 2 on, 1 out. They failed to score, and it stays scoreless. Scoreless game into the top of the 3rd. Game 2 of this Columbia, South Carolina Super Regional. Oklahoma State won here yesterday by a score of 5-1. South Carolina, they lost the first game of the regional they hosted here, came back to win it. They lost the first game of the Supers here yesterday, so the first game of the regional Supers, they've scuffled. The other games, now this is the 4 games that they won in the regional. After that, they have played, pitched, and hit well.
Sometimes teams have to have their back against the wall to bring the best out of them.
First pitch, Hackett fouled away right side. Bottom 3 in the order for the Gamecocks: Madison, Stokes, and Arendis and Mooney. Rinky ball in there from Buffett.
Buffett so far 88-90 on his fastball and 77 on that curveball for strike 2. Good velocity change there, and why he froze him up.
And tied him up with the fastball, and Stokes strikes out. Second K of the game for Buffett, and 1 out in the 3rd.
Tyler Buffett just comes inside. A lot of pitchers don't like throwing inside, especially 0-2 and ahead to count. You don't want to hit the guy, but that was a perfect pitch for Tyler Buffett, and just hung Stokes out to dry, especially Stokes with that curveball in his mind, having to stay back.
First pitch breaking ball called the low part of the zone. Strike one to DC Arendis. The senior does not want to see his collegiate playing career come to an end. He has really been a spark the last few weeks with the South Carolina team. He belts one to straightaway center. Sluter, though, just a few steps to his right to haul it in.
DC Arendis hasn't missed too many pitches in the regional or in the super regional. He squared it up just about every time. There you see Pork Chop going to the home plate, get the ball. That.
Better explain more about Pork Chop.
I think you have that story, don't you?
Pork Chop's the bat boy here. Young guy is famous. I'm sure we'll get to more of Pork Chop as this Sunday moves along. This ball went low. Marcus Mooney. 10th round pick, the Atlanta Braves in the draft on Friday. Right back up the middle. Walton spins, throws, and dug out by Williams, but they say he was off the bag. Now here comes Josh Holliday. This may be reviewed.
That was a big league play by Donnie Walton up the middle. Makes the spin, has to pick up first base without really having any time. Makes a great throw to Dustin Williams low. You want to keep the ball low, and Dustin Williams with a great pick there. It looked like he got his right foot back on the bag before the runner passed.
This is going to be the best look.
He does come off right there, but he'll go back and he'll touch it right.
Oh.
It's pretty close.
Now, he may not have gotten back in time.
Travis Katzenmeyer, the crew chief, is also the first base umpire. I mean, to see that live and make that call, that's impressive.
Well, they called being safe on the field, which it's a base hit. The way it scored for Mooney, there would have to be indisputable video evidence to overturn that, and it looks like he's safe anyway. It was a good call from the first base umpire, Travis Katzenmeyer. Back to the top of the order, and Gene Cohn.
Well, we're back in a situation with 2 outs where you got to string 2 hits together, unless, of course, he hits it out of the ballpark. And for Gene Cohn, I mean, he could lead off your next inning. If you want Marcus Mooney to take a chance on stealing the bag, he could do that. 4 stolen bases for Marcus Mooney on the year.
Check swing. It's missed.
And the risk is worth the reward here to get that guy in scoring position with 2 outs for Gene Cohn.
Even if they were to throw out Mooney, you got the top of the order leading off the next inning. Not a huge lead. He's not running. Strike call in the inside corner.
Gene Cohn being very patient today, and like we mentioned before, he's got a great eye at the plate. He's not going to go fishing after anything that he knows he can't put a good swing on. That was a good quality pitch for Tyler Buffett inside. And when you're throwing inside as a pitcher, it makes it much more difficult for a hitter. You feel like you got to get the head out on that pitch. Takes you off all the off speed and all the fastballs away if you feel like you have to get the head out on an inside 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Cohn grounded out to second, leading off the game. He's 0 for 1 today. Standing up this time is Mooney.
And now they're predicting a possible off-speed count. Maybe Mooney be on the run. Thinking that Tyler Buffett may throw some kind of curveball here. Give him a little more time to steal the bag.
Jammed him and it's pulled foul. And the one knee goes Cohn.
Tough pitch there. Another quality pitch by Tyler Buffett. And again, why you can't leave it up to the umpire. You've got to swing it. Anything close, got to be ready to go. We're swinging at every pitch until the ball dictates that you're not. And of course, that hit him off the leg as well, above the guard. And that hurts.
right to the first baseman, Dustin Williams, who didn't even have to move. So first hit of the game for South Carolina, and their first runner left on. Colin Thoreau, the catcher for the Cowboys, leading off when we come back. He went deep in a big spot late in yesterday's game. His 6th home run of the year gave him a 5-0 lead. They went on to win 5-1. 9-1-2 coming up. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One from Founders Park in Columbia, South Carolina. Scoreless to the home half of the third. And look at our Super Regional headlines just before we came on the air. Sam Cohen's walk-off granny knocks out the #2 national seed Louisville. SEC right now scuffling in the Supers. And Arizona and Miami are in. Miami just knocked off Boston College 9-4 to take the decisive game there. We'll see if any discipline is handed out, because there was a scuffle between Boston College and Miami in that game. First pitch swinging, and Thoreau had a home run yesterday in his last at bat. Singles in his first at bat today.
First pitch fastball right down the middle. I mean, Colin Thoreau knows that what's coming, and he just put a pop on it to left field. Been swinging a hot bat. When you're hot, you're hot.
And on top of that, yesterday he got drafted by the Oakland Athletics in the 32nd round. Four-game hitting streak now for Thoreau. Davis wants to bunt him over. Pulls back and takes a strike. Oklahoma State team that likes to employ the bunt, though they have not done it as much this year as they have in past years. They set school records for sack bunts last year with 81. 2 years ago in 2014, they actually had 88, which set the school record. That's fouled back. Couldn't get the bunt down there, and it's 0-2.
JR missed his opportunity on the first pitch fastball to put that ball down. That curveball is a little more difficult to square up and bunt down, but it shows the importance that Josh Holliday puts on getting the lead in this game in the 3rd inning with a sack bunt. Get that guy in scoring position.
61 as a team sack bunts this year. Davis a strikeout victim his first time up. Still wanting to bunt with 2 strikes, and bunts a foul, and he strikes out.
First pitch to me was the only pitch he probably had a good opportunity to put it down. The next 2 were just nasty. It's hard to put that curveball in play, even if it is a bunt, especially when they're low like that. Most coaches would call off the bunt with 2 strikes, but Josh Holliday knew how important it was to get that ball down, get that runner to second, kept it on.
So Thoreau's at first with 1 out for Corey Hassel. Now he wants to lay down the bunt. Strike 1.
First pitch to Davis here, just that sinker back all over the plate. I mean, I don't know what JR was looking for there. That was a good push bunt.
Strike taken by Hassel there means that Clark Schmidt's thrown a first pitch strike to 9 of the 11 Oklahoma State hitters he's faced. The slider is outside.
And Hassel's idea there was to push it through to the right side to get a base hit out of that bunt. Obviously, this is not a sack bunt situation. First baseman holding the runner on. Second baseman in double play depth. If he could push it past the pitcher's left side, that's a base hit.
Slider down and away, and it's 2-1. Hassel is the guy who's been the most successful sack bunter this year. But as you said, not in a spot here to try to sacrifice. He has 19 sack bunts to lead the team this season.
And Corey Hassel says in his bio he wants to be a Division I coach. So in some regards, he's probably thinking along with the coach and knows the game. And
he was the Clemson Regional MVP. He leads the team in those categories. Can they turn a pair? There's one. There's two. 6 for a 3. Second double play turned in the Super Regional, and the first today for South Carolina. Part of the order coming up for the Gamecocks when we return. Coming up tonight on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, it's the second game of our doubleheader from the seats. 8:30 Eastern with Dan Shulman, Aaron Boone, and Jess Mendoza calling Dodgers-Giants from above the right field wall at AT&T Park. And you can catch it on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. I challenge Aaron Boone to, at some point tonight, get in a dinghy and go into McCovey Cove. I'd love to see that. See if he's up to the task. That's on the ground, slowly towards short. Walton Plants throws and retires T.J. Hopkins by a step. Well, Carolina, their draft picks taken. Braden Webb was their highest selection, 3rd round to the Brewers. So 7 taken in the first 25 rounds for South Carolina in this year's Major League Baseball draft. Tom Thompson-Williams to the Yankees this year. He had gone to the Brewers last year, 2012 to the Mets, so the 3rd time he's been drafted. Towards 3rd, that's going to stay fair and hit the bag. Benj has got to circle back quickly as Thompson-Williams keeping an eye on that, and he is aboard with a 1-out single.
Well, a little good fortune for Dom Thompson-Williams here. Just nubs it off the end, stays fair, has a little spin toward fair territory, and then hits the bag. Garrett Benj has no chance to make that play.
Let me correct myself. Dom was taken by the Cardinals in the 19th round in 2014, so that's 2nd time he's been drafted, but went to the 5th round Yankees pick this year. And a threat to run. DH Alex Destino, a strikeout victim his first time, and Williams is the team leader in steals, and he draws a throw.
By far the team leader in steals with 18. Next closest to him is T.J. Hopkins with 8. So Dom Thompson can go on the bases.
Couple of walks in yesterday's game. Officially went 0 for 2. Scoreless game here in the top of the 4th. Right side and through. Thompson-Williams will stop at second as Hassel fires it back in. But a hit for Destino is first of the Super Regional. And the Gamecocks have 2 on, 1 out.
Well, and that's always what's good for us left-handed hitters, to be able to put the ball on the right side with the guy on first. Generally you get that guy over to 3rd base, but that ball was hit a little hard. Hassel moved in on it really quick, made a strong throw in to keep Dom Thompson-Williams at 2nd base.
It gets this Gamecocks crowd, some of them on their feet. You just get a sense, Todd, that whoever takes the lead first in this game will have such a big advantage.
It's a huge advantage, and for John Jones here, their best hitter in the month of March. This is the situation South Carolina would have wanted earlier in the season, and they've got him in the lineup for a reason, to be a spark, and here's his opportunity here.
You mentioned how hot he was to start the year. He had a series at the end of February against Penn State where he reached base all 14 times he came to the plate. He had 8 hits, 6 walks, and a couple of homers. He was a National Player of the Week once, a couple of times SEC Player of the Week.
And a little reason why he's been out of the lineup, that swing right there, a little hesitant, a little unsure of himself. That's what these slumps will do. It'll make you unsure of yourself. And John Jones has got to grab a little confidence real quick.
Knock it away from Buffett. Hit the ball well this first time, Jones did, but flight out to center. He had a pinch hit singled in the 9th inning yesterday. Jones, that hit him in the batter's box. That's a foul ball.
A little more confident swing from John Jones there. Good curveball by Buffett. It's off his foot. Stays, which is the reason the ball stayed fair. But he's on that curveball.
Thompson, Williams, and Destino on base. 1 out in the South Carolina top of the 4th. Ran it in on him, and he got a piece. Staying up there at 1-2.
That was the cutter we talked about from Buffett earlier in this game. And I mean, he just locates that ball so well in the inside corner. That's the most difficult pitch for a left-handed hitter to hit with 2 strikes. You're trying to cover the middle of the plate and anything outside, like you saw the weak swing that John Jones took. And to be able to foul that ball off on the inside is pretty good.
And he paints the inside corner. Strike 3. Gets Jones looking. 3rd strikeout of the game for Buffett. 7-pitch bat results in a strikeout.
And you'll see the pitch sequence here. Stays away for strike 1 on Buffett. Gets a weak swing on strike 2. Stays away. Show him he's throwing away. That's 3 in a row. And then starts curveballs down the middle and then starts coming inside. I mean, that is excellent work by Tyler Buffett, and that shows why they've been so successful. These guys are very intelligent on the mound for Oklahoma State. Rob Walton has done a great job with his pitching staff. And if you're going to win baseball games, you have to pitch. That's the #1 thing, and Oklahoma State does that extremely well.
His pitch, breaking ball, misses. Jonah Bride. 2 on, 2 outs for South Carolina. Right, 0 for 1 with a ground out to 3rd. That curveball hits the low part of the zone.
You just don't see a lot of pitchers, Mark, in the big leagues or in college, being able to hit that inside corner, much less hit it on the inside corner for a perfect strike. And that'll really mess with a hitter's mind if you can throw that fastball in, because again, it takes you off the off speed and all the fastballs away.
Cuts off the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Bride hits it towards center field, but Sluter is right there. It even tails back to him to retire the side. 2 hits, 2 left on. Carolina's now stranded 3. When we come back, we'll visit with Braden Webb of South Carolina. We welcome you back to Columbia, South Carolina. Scoreless game in the bottom of the 4th. There's Braden Webb, who was the starting pitcher for South Carolina yesterday, went 7 2/3. And we appreciate you joining us during this inning. First off, I know you're disappointed your team didn't get the win yesterday, but take me through your outing yesterday.
Well, I mean, I just tried to come out here and compete. It was my first ever start on the first night of a weekend series, and I just tried to do whatever it took to put my team in the best possible position to win the ball game. And I felt like I came out there, I competed, made a couple mistakes here and there, and they got the better of it.
Braden, what kind of advice did you pass along to your starter today, Clark Schmidt?
Actually, we talked a little bit in the locker room before he came down, and he was just asking me what pitches to throw to what guys, and I told him what guys could go and what counts and whatever, and he's He's doing a great job here today. So I'm looking forward to the rest of his outing.
Hey, Braden, you have a unique perspective here, not only because you pitched yesterday against this team, but you're from Oklahoma. I mean, you're from the Tulsa area, Owasso. You're playing Oklahoma State. How many of these guys do you know and know well from years past?
Actually, I played with a kid who is on their team. Well, I played with a couple of their kids, actually. I played against the kid who's hitting right now, Donnie Walton. He was I believe he was a senior my sophomore year. And I played with Andrew Rosa and with John Littell and David Petrino on their team. And I know the Garrett Binge kid who plays third base. And then I also played with Trey Cobb and Blake Battenfield, who was on their pitching staff, and against Thomas Hatch growing up.
Braden, is it true that you threw a complete game 3 hitter against Trey Cobb in the semifinals of high school?
I did, actually. I went.
There you go.
Actually
Take you way back, man.
I went extra innings.
Extra innings.
It was called the Battle of the Bats, and it was really Battle of the Arms because Trey came out and did a tremendous job, and I also pitched against. I pitched against their team, and I went 9 innings, and I believe he went 8 or something like that, and that was the first time I've ever went 9 innings in a game in high school.
Well, Walton pops out. Here comes Garrett Binge. Now, going to Owasso, which people from South Carolina may not know, that's in the Tulsa area, just kind of northeast part of town. Owasso High School, you win the 6A championship. There have been a lot of good players that have come out of Owasso. I remember Pete Cosmo was a first-round pick for the Cardinals out of Owasso High School. Do you remember some of the good players that have preceded you there in the Tulsa area?
Yeah, actually, I grew. From my 8th grade to freshman year, I worked out with Dylan Bundy, who is he's in the big leagues for the Orioles right now, and I also worked out a little bit with Archie Bradley, who's in the big leagues for the Diamondbacks right now. And I mean, they gave me a lot of advice, a lot of tips on how to become a better pitcher and a better teammate. And I mean, I just really am thankful for them and them showing me the way and the ropes of how to play baseball the right way.
Binge with a base hit to right, so he's on with 1 out for Connor Costello. So the question begs, Oklahoma, you wind up at the University of South Carolina. Why?
Because I played for a team called the Evo Show Canes, and God blessed me enough to have the opportunity to meet Jeff Petty and Jamie Evans and Dan Gitson of the Evo Shield team, and they all asked me, who do you want to be here to watch you? And I was like, well, South Carolina is really top on my top list, and so he had South Carolina, Clemson, North Carolina, like everybody. I look back there and there's like 50 radar guns behind me at my outing in East Cobb, and so right after the game, I talked to Coach Holbrook, and they got me on a visit here, and I just fell in love with this place.
And it's worked out well for you. Congratulations, by the way, on being drafted. We appreciate your time. Thanks so much for sharing it with us.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you.
Braden Webb, who was drafted in the 3rd round on Friday. Well, Costello with a base hit following the Binge base hit. So here's Oklahoma State now with 2 on 1 out. Cowboys are the home team here in this game at the bottom of the 4th inning. Just misses outside.
Dustin Williams, his last at bat, saw 5 pitches from Clark Schmidt and drew the walk. The more you face a pitcher, the more pitches you see, to me, the more it becomes a hitter's advantage. You got your timing, your tempo down. You've seen what he's got.
There's a strike. By the way, to button up the thought, Braden Webb was a 3rd round pick by the Brewers on Friday. In fact, he was selected during the team workout that was going on here Friday.
And Braden Webb coming off arm surgery, so I mean, it's a blessing that he gets a chance to throw again, and has had an outstanding year for the Gamecocks. And really, really smart, good pitcher.
Strike on the outside edge to Dustin Williams. It's 1-2. Schmidt got the leadoff man, Walton. Pop up to second, but Binge and Costello have followed with hits. And Williams high to the count, but with a chance to give the Cowboys the lead.
An unusual elevated fastball for Clark Schmidt. Most of his pitches have been down in the zone. Probably tried to throw it over the middle of the plate and elevate it. Try to get a swing and miss from Dustin Williams.
And elevated, but in enough on Dustin Williams that he fouled it off.
Good fight-off pitch there for Dustin Williams. Get the hands up and on that 90-mile-an-hour pitch. High and tight.
Good look at Founders Park on this steamy Sunday afternoon. Oklahoma State with a win heads to the College World Series. South Carolina needs a win to set up a decisive game tomorrow. Floats in strike 3 and gets Williams looking. 2 outs.
Just another quality pitch from Clark Schmidt. That slider on the outside corner. Perfect pitcher's pitch. And as a hitter, especially the left side, it looks even farther away than it actually ends up being. And for Dustin Williams, I mean, just froze him up as it came back. Backdoor slider there for Clark Schmidt. And a big spot there.
So here's Sluter, who hit one deep to left his first time up. It was caught by Dom Thompson-Williams, and he chases the first one at strike 1.
Sluter got a slider. His
say
first,
that.
I'd say that 10 times fast. His first time up, and there he is again, waving at the first pitch slider. Good quality pitch there.
Stays off that one outside.
And the second chance for Ryan Sluter to put their team ahead yesterday. He did it for Oklahoma State with a home run in the 3rd inning.
Popped up on the right side. Stokes shading his eyes. The second baseman Arendis also over there, and it's Arendis who makes the catch on the edge of the outfield grass. The Cowboys have 2 on 1 out, but fail to score. When we come back, we'll chat with the Cowboys head coach Josh Holliday. Scoreless game to the top of the 5th. Let's chat with Josh Holliday, the head coach of the Cowboys. Your team 4 hits so far, all singles. What's the approach, Clark Schmidt? Seems like he's got a pretty good slider going against you today.
Yeah, he's a skilled pitcher. There's no doubt. He's a strike thrower, and we've had a few chances to get some guys on base. We got to finish an inning, which we'll get to that. We're getting close. Guys are getting a better feel for him now, 2nd, 3rd time through. So he's a quality pitcher. Our guy's a good one. This is what college baseball is all about.
Coach Josh, you've called Buffett your winner. What have you seen from Tyler Buffett today?
Yeah, he's gotten out there and gotten all 4 pitches established. You've probably seen some good curveballs and some sliders, some changeups. He's a good one. He gets out there and competes and moves the ball around. So we'll need him to keep putting up some zeros till we can figure this guy out.
We'll leave it there. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Josh Holliday. This pitcher Tyler Buffett, just his 4th start of the year, but making his 35th appearance, which ties him for the school record in a season. Brendan McCurry back in 2014 had 35 appearances, so he has tied him for that. Look at our starting pitching comparison. It's both very comparable.
It really is amazing how comparable these 2 teams are. I mean, both head coaches. Chad Obrick, 165 wins in 4 years. Josh Holliday, 167 wins in 4 years. Fielding percentages are identical coming into this series at .978. All 4 starters we've seen so far have been great.
Called a strike on the low outside edge, so it's 2-2. Bottom 3 in the order for the Gamecocks here in the top of the 5th inning. Full count.
Interesting that Madison Stokes does not wear batting gloves on a day like today. Even if you're used to not wearing batting gloves with the sweat and the heat, it might make sense to have batting gloves with some stick on them. Madison Stokes, old school.
The 3rd, speared by Binge from foul ground, now along the line, throws across to get him. 1 gone. Let's check in with the studio and Brendan Fitzgerald.
Mark, thanks very much. Texas Tech and East Carolina, game 3, and the Red Raiders got 3 in the first. This is Hunter Hargrove, a 2-run double down the left field line. They've added another. Right now, it is 6-0 Texas Tech in the third.
Brendan, thanks. Of course, 3 Big 12 teams in the Super Regional round. There were 3 in the regionals as well. They all moved on. Texas Tech trying to win that decisive game with East Carolina. You and I were watching that last night's game, and East Carolina was a hit away from winning that game in that series. TCU and Texas A&M tonight going to play the deciding game of their series in College Station.
Yeah, Texas Tech winner of the Big 12. Oklahoma State second to Texas Tech in the Big 12. All Big 12 teams doing very well in this tournament.
That's through the left side, the base hit for D.C. Horrendous. This guy, I don't think I should call him the unsung hero, because I know a lot of local folks know how productive and what a quality kid he is. Let's take a look at this bracket brought to you by Capital One. Texas Tech and East Carolina, winner of that game going on right now, would play the winner of the Texas A&M TCU decisive game later tonight in the first game that they play in Omaha. Florida State won the first game in Gainesville. The 2-seed Louisville knocked out today by UC Santa Barbara. They got the 1-seed Florida on the ropes.
Shows you how close these games can be, too. Like you mentioned, we watched East Carolina. They were 1 hit away and got the hit up the middle. But Texas Tech was playing them up the middle, got the third out of that inning, came back and win. And if Texas Tech wins the game, that shows you how close these games are. One play makes a difference in going to Omaha.
And being the host of the Super Regional this year has not been the advantage, at least so far, as it has been in really all the other years of the Super Regional going back to '99. 3 are in right now, by the way.
No, and it really hasn't. And I mean, everybody in the country assumed that SEC and ACC were the best 2 conferences in the country, but it really isn't playing out that way.
1-0 count. Marcus Mooney with a runner on. Just to midside, 2-0. Mooney with an infield hit to short, his first at bat. No runs, 4 hits for each team. All 4 hits on each side are singles. No extra base hits so far today.
With a guaranteed fastball coming in here, that is at least cross Chad Holbrook's mind, put on a hit and run, which basically just means put the runner in motion. But Marcus Mooney has to swing it.
Well, they didn't start the runner, but Mooney fought that off and takes it the other way through the hole. And it's 2 on, 1 out.
And had they started the runner, he's at third base with 1 out. Great piece of hitting there by Marcus Mooney, just staying inside the ball, and on a 2-0 pitch, squares it up and hits it to right field. Just stays compact, stays through the ball, up to the level of the zone of the baseball. Puts it in that hole. First base is holding the runner on. Second baseman is in double play depth, so there's a big hole there on the right side of the infield, and he just punches it through.
Top of the order in Gene Cone. It's going to bring Rob Walton, the pitching coach, out of the Oklahoma State dugout. And it's going to get a line of guys running out to the bullpen for Oklahoma State.
11 to be exact.
Well, coming up tomorrow night, 9 Eastern on ABC, the NBA Finals are back at Oracle Arena for Game 5 with the Warriors on the brink of back-to-back titles. Golden State's 11-1 at home in these playoffs. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 8:30 and can be seen streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
Well, Gene Cone, 10 for 20 in the regional. He and DC Horrendous, the hottest bats coming in. These are the situations that you depend and hope on your superstars to come through.
Other teams had a hit with a runner in scoring position today. Cone comes up in that spot here. The lead runner Horrendous, Mooney at first. Todd mentioned the big numbers in the regional for Cone. Went 10 for 20. He's a combined 1 for 5 in the Super Regional. 0 for 2 today. Apparently the door was locked. They couldn't get
the bullpen. Don't let them in.
Isn't that the old joke? Who's got the key to the bullpen? Or key to something or other that you pull on rookies.
He's got the bag of curveballs. It's locked in the bullpen. Well, here we go. Gene Cohn's seen 11 pitches in 2 at-bats. Best hitter they have for South Carolina.
First pitch strike on the low part.
Crowd didn't like it, but that's a good quality first pitch for Tyler Buffett. It's so fun to watch these guys that can compete on the mound and throw those quality strikes when they need to the most.
Cohn today has hit the ball on the ground to the right side each time. Once to second, once to first. Takes upstairs.
This again, commanding the inside part of the plate is important for Tyler Buffett right here. Showed him away, tried to come in there and missed a little high. Very hard to get a read on Tyler Buffett and what pitch might be coming, and that's the biggest key to hitting, is having an educated guess on every pitch.
Got the call there on the low part.
Mark, I just think that's a good quality strike. I mean, we've got the side angle and we could see where it crosses the kneecaps, but I tell you, that ball's got some late sink right there. That one was low, below the knees, and tough call for Gene Cohn, but now he knows where the umpire's going to call it. And you're back to with 2 strikes, not leaving it up to that umpire behind the plate to make the call on strike 3. You got to be aggressive and expand the zone. Use the whole field.
And trying to protect, strikes out on the fastball, in on him. The crowd right now still not forgiving plate umpire Danny Collins for what they feel is a bad call on the.
Well, Tyler Buffett showed him the fastball way low for strike 1. Tried to come inside and missed high. Ball 1, then a perfect pitch low on the inside corner. And then more inside on Gene Cohn, who feels like he has to hit that pitch right before. So he cheats a little bit, and Tyler Buffett did a great job of burying that ball way on the inside corner. And almost impossible at bat for Gene Cohn there.
And that call on the 1-1 pitch was the big one. Instead of 2-1, it was 1-2, and it goes down on strikes. 4th K for Buffett. 2-on, 2 outs for T.J. Hopkins, the center fielder. First pitch, curveball, strike. Hopkins 0 for 2 today. He's fly to right, grounded out to Walton at short. He's a combined 1 for 6 in the Super Regional. Right side, softly hit. Williams flips to the pitcher. Buffett covering. Oklahoma State had 2 on 1 out, didn't score in their last inning, and Carolina does the same here. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals, presented by Capital One. Well, UC Santa Barbara with the Sam Cohn walk-off grand slam earlier today has taken out the #2 national seed Louisville. The SEC right now 1-6 in Super Regional play. So the Big West was that help from Santa Barbara at 8-4 in the Big 12. 3 out of the Big 12. TCU, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State. We have Tech up 6-0 right now on East Carolina in the middle stages of that decisive game in Lubbock. John Littell leading off for Oklahoma State. It's the home half of the 5th. The Cowboys, the home team in this game. They have the 8, 9, and 1 part of the order up. Strike on the outer edge. Littell fouled out to first his first time up. Kept it down a little low, but right now the crowd reaction is still a carryover from the Cohn at bats. in the last inning.
And I was just going to make the comment, you have to take advantage of what the umpire is giving you, right or wrong. This pitch is obviously low too, but it was the same pitch he called in the bottom half of the last inning.
On cone.
On cone, and you got to take advantage of a pitcher of the umpire giving you those calls. In other words, there wouldn't be a whole lot of reason to throw one right down the middle. You just try to hit that low spot. Now it's easier said than done, obviously, but it's a lot like an umpire giving you a foot off the plate. If he's giving it to you, there's no reason to throw any other pitch. Throw it on the foot outside of him. That hitter can't hit that pitch.
Sharply towards the hole and by the diving shortstop Mooney. And a base hit for Littell to begin the bottom of the 5th.
Well, on a 2-2 count, John Littell gets a fastball. Marcus Mooney with a great layout there to try to make that snag, but couldn't do it. I think if he'd have caught it, it would have been tough to get him out at first anyway.
Well, brings up the 9th spot in the order for the Cowboys. Well, that cost him a belt. Apparently busted his belt, so we have an equipment issue with shortstop Marcus Mooney. Fortunately, equipment managers for schools are well stocked these days, and you need a belt, there it is. Saying, hey, guys, I need a belt, I need time. Doesn't want to wind up doing the Steve Lyons from many years ago.
Yeah,
when Mr. Lyons
pants,
lost his pants. So as Marcus Mooney goes through each loop, Colin Thoreau coming up in the 9th spot for Oklahoma State.
Good way to get on camera there.
Probably not the way he had hoped. Now he's ready. And here's Thoreau, who singled his first time up, homered his last at bat yesterday. This guy's kind of been the X factor, and he's wanting to bunt the runner over here. Pulls back and takes a strike on the curveball.
Another interesting call, and it's tough for Josh Holliday because Colin Thoreau has been so hot. Hit the 3-run homer, put the game out of reach yesterday, like you mentioned, and now he's in a spot where he has, it's a bunt situation, but you got a hot hitter at the plate. A lot of coaches might opt to hit and run.
And with that on the mind, Clark Schmidt throws over to check on Littell. We continue to see both these head coaches, Josh Holliday for Oklahoma State, Chad Holbrook for South Carolina. They understand the importance of taking the lead, even with a single run in this game. Hold it back again and takes another strike.
Well, those off-speed pitches, like we mentioned earlier with JR, just when JR Davis was at the plate, it's just tough to bunt those balls, and they look like they're in one spot, but by the time it crosses the plate, it's in a different spot. He thought that ball might be a little high, especially with him bending his legs like that in a good bunting position, and so now he's got 2 strikes and behind in the count.
So, Todd, you'd rather have bunted a fastball than a breaking ball?
Well, I'm just saying that's why he took him. It doesn't look, but of course it's easier to bunt a straight ball than not. And they get him down to second base anyway.
Well, he takes off, and Littell with the steal.
I don't think anybody was really ready for that one.
4 steal for him this year in 6 tries.
Oh, and he got off early. Great jump by Littell there. And that's a big spot. Now you got to get on second with nobody out. Any ball on the ground to the right side moves him over to third with less than 2 outs, and that's what Thoreau should be trying to do.
Puts it in the air to left center field. And the shortstop, Mooney, has to go all the way out to make that catch.
That is not easy and a very difficult play for Marcus Mooney to run all the way out there in the outfield and make that play. But again, shows you why he's so good on the infield. A lot of range there for Marcus Mooney. And to catch that ball over his shoulder is not easy.
Jerry Myers, the pitching coach, out for the Gamecocks. the numbers for Clark Schmidt. 12 first pitch strikes to the 18 hitters he's faced. Coming up tonight on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, the second game of our doubleheader from the seats. 8:30 Eastern. Dan Shulman, Aaron Boone, and Jessica Mendoza call the Dodgers-Giants game from above the right field wall at AT&T Park. And you can catch this game, as always, streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
And Mark, I meant to mention to you as well, Aaron Boone took me in Cincinnati. I got traded from Colorado to Cincinnati, and Aaron Boone was my first roommate for the Cincinnati Reds.
So a USC guy, that being Southern California, took in the LSU guy. No questions asked. We look at the Cowboys draft. 11 going for the Cowboys this year, which ties a school record. They also had 11 taken in the MLB draft back in 2007. By the way, Texas A&M had the most taken in this draft. Southern California second, and Oklahoma State and Mississippi State were tied for third most with 11. A&M had 13 taken.
Well, Thoreau didn't get the job done, so now you got one out in J.R. Davis with a guy in scoring position. J.R. Davis hit .355 this year. I mean, so he's very capable. Swings the bat really well, has more walks than strikeouts. 24 walks, 20 strikeouts.
Big swing foul. You saw he's 0 for 2 today with 2 Ks. The last one coming when he tried to bunt with 2 strikes and fouled it. Runner at second is Littell with 1 out. Oklahoma State batting in the last of the 5th. It's short. Throwing back to second. It gets away, and now Littell goes to third. The ball down the right field line. Well, Littell started to go for third, and Mooney, instead of taking that sure out at first, thought he had a chance to get Littell getting back to the base and threw it past Arendis.
Well, obviously you're not thinking about that during the course of a play. The runner did get a little too much off second base, but I mean, if you take the out at first for the second out, you only need one more out to get out of the inning, and that was the right call there. But he saw something, but by the time he went to throw it, second baseman wasn't there quite in time, and it caused him to throw it a little erratically, and then the ball hits the lip and jumps off for Madison Stokes.
Now keep in mind, he's going to have to tag him anyway. Even a good throw, it would have been tough to get the out at second. The error charged on the throw to Mooney, so it's first and third. 1 out. Corey Hassel.
And J.R. Davis with a lot of speed at first base, so now South Carolina's in a tough spot. And again, Marcus Mooney just trying to make a play, and unfortunately made the wrong decision there.
Hassel today has grounded out twice. The last time he grounded into an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play, and the Gamecocks would love that opportunity. The ground ball to get out of this inning. That's through the 2 games, a game and a half that we've played so far here in Columbia. Neither team has excelled really with runners in scoring position.
Well, and that's a credit to the starting pitchers, you know, with Hatch and Webb, and today with Buffett and now Clark.
Puts down the safety squeeze, tried to flip it home with the glove, did Stokes, and doesn't have a play anywhere, and Oklahoma State takes the lead.
The importance of getting the lead, just getting the run, willing to give up the out there, and Madison Stokes didn't take the out. He tried to flip it home, make an amazing play, and just misses the ball altogether. And Oklahoma State once again with the lead, and still not out of this inning.
So the safety squeeze works, brings in Littell, and really we get back-to-back instances, Todd, where South Carolina tries to make the spectacular play instead of the routine play, and it cost them.
And that's why a lot of scouts will tell you they'll take anybody on the field that just makes the routine plays. You don't have to be Ozzie Smith. Just make the routine plays.
And that's in the right field. Here comes Davis. He scores 2-0 Cowboys as Walton gets his first hit of the Super Regional and 44th RBI of the year.
And this shows how it can snowball on you when you just try to make a play. Again, nothing against Marcus Mooney. He tried to make an incredible play there and pick the runner in scoring position off, but DC wasn't there quite in time. Now it's starting to escalate on South Carolina. First pitch slider right down the middle of the plate. Again, the umpire is going to give him low, but you know, when things start happening around you, it's very difficult for a pitcher to really focus on each and every pitch. He throws that down the middle, base hit to right. Not only does he get the run in, but he gets the runner from first to third with less than 2 outs.
So runners are at the corners as Hassel's gone all the way to third. By the way, Hassel did get credit for the sacrifice at an RBI on the safety squeeze. Garrett Benj is up, and he's 2 for 2 today. Crowd getting antsy as he's taking a long look down to the third base coach, James Valade. Now he wants to bunt. Runner heading for second, and that throw goes into center field. It will allow Hassel to score. So John Jones' throw overshoots second base. And the second error of the inning charged to South Carolina.
Perfect call by Josh Holliday. As third base, as a runner, you're watching that throw. If he throws it through, you're supposed to go ahead and go home. Didn't look like the runner was going to do that, but of course, making the defense make plays, and in these big games, you put a lot of pressure on the defense. It's very difficult, and Oklahoma State's putting a squeeze on South Carolina right now, literally. John Jones, not a whole lot of experience behind the plate this year, especially lately. Lets it go a little high and in the center field, allows a third run to score for Oklahoma State.
One-0 count on Benj. He was single to center and single to right center. 2 for 2. That ball towards the middle, cut off by Mooney. Gets the out at first. That's been the very elusive second out of the inning. It does send Walton over to third.
Well, another good play by Marcus Mooney up the middle. Didn't get that second out at first base, and that's not very easy to do. Moving to your left and throw back sort of across your body, get that out.
DH counter Costello with a base hit his last time up with a single to right center, which has given him a 10-game hitting streak. One ball, one strike.
And I guess if you would ask Oklahoma State, this would be the guy they want up in this situation. Costello, again, 10 for 16 in this postseason going into today. 1 for 2 today. Base hit his last time up the middle.
Costello 3 out of 6 in this Super Regional. They're going 8 for 12 in the regional at Clemson. Off the end of the bat to right field. Gene Cohn coming in. But Oklahoma State scores 3 times on only 2 hits with 2 costly South Carolina errors. We played 5. Buffett going back to the hill now with a 3-run lead. Tyler Buffett back to the mound for Oklahoma State, now pitching with the lead as Oklahoma State scores 3 in the 5th. And Buffett's days so far includes the 5 scoreless innings.
Yeah, Buffett's commanded both sides of the plate and been very smart on the mound, starting guys outside and then gradually moving inside. Great pitch to John Jones there on the inside corner for strike 3. And an even better pitch to Gene Cohn, who was looking inside for strike 3 as well.
No walks, 4 strikeouts on the day. Giving up 5 hits. All of them singles. 3, 4, and 5 hitters up for South Carolina. You're in the top of the 6th inning. South Carolina needs to win this game to set up a decisive 3rd game tomorrow. If Oklahoma State hangs on to this lead and wins, they would head to the College World Series for the first time since 1999, but the 20th time in school history. Appeal denied. 2 balls, no strikes. Ball 3.
And you know, Mark, these at-bats are so difficult when you're behind in a big game like this. I mean, South Carolina's got 3, 4, and 5 hole hitters coming up. And it's just difficult to take these at-bats because you want to get all 3 runs back by yourself, and you just obviously can't do that. And so these are just tough at-bats. You got to catch a break one way or the other. And if Buffett walks DTW right here, that's the break they're looking for, but they didn't get it.
Got jammed, rolled out to J.R. Davis at second. So after getting ahead in the count 3-0, Dom Thompson-Williams grounds out to second. And Destino will bat with the bases empty. Our in-game box, 4 hits. Make that 5, all singles for South Carolina. Mooney has a couple of the hits. Destino with a base hit to right his last time up. Buffett starts him with a strike on the outside corner.
South Carolina's 4 through 7 hitters yesterday, 1 for 13. And 2 hits today in that 4 through 7 spots. DC Arendas and Marcus Mooney have 3 of their 5 hits today, hitting out of the 8 and the 9 hole.
Softly foul, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. South Carolina hosting a regional for the first time since 2012 when they beat Oklahoma 2 games to none. They have their work cut out for them now, down 1 game already and trailing in this one 3-0. Full count. Another chance for the second baseman, J.R. Davis. Stretched by Dustin Williams. 2 gone.
Again, just quality pitches from Tyler Buffett in predictable fastball counts and hitters counts. Just getting it inside on Dom Thompson-Williams and Alex DeSingo just enough so they're not able to get the barrel on it. Just a weak ground ball to second base. Again, you're supposed to assume that ball's coming and get the head out and hit it, but Tyler Buffett doing a great job of burying that ball just enough on the inside corner.
John Jones fouls a curveball. He's 0 for 2 today. And McFly to center in the second and struck out in the 4th. First baseman fields it. Dustin Williams, the long underhand toss to Buffett covering.
Tyler Buffett jams all 3 left-handed hitters in that inning. I mean, just a perfect inning for Tyler Buffett.
Now time for the pick you up moment of the game, brought to you by Enterprise. It started rather innocently, leading off the 5th. John Littell with a base hit to left, and then after he had stolen second, Davis ground ball to short. Mooney's throw got past. The runs with the safety squeeze scores. It was the 2nd run of the inning, and then Walton knocks in the 3rd run of the 5th. That brought in Hassel, and high throw down to second. 3-run inning on only 2 hits for Oklahoma State. There were 2 South Carolina errors And now the Cowboys bat an inning later down the bottom of the 6th. Strike one to Dustin Williams.
You know, that last inning, Mark, Clinton Hurdle always just tell us which we'd apply to hitting. The enemy of good is great. Trying to do something great instead of just making the nice routine plays. And it escalated on South Carolina there. When you apply it to hitting, it's, you know, I don't hit enough home runs. I'm going to try to hit some more home runs. Or I'm going to try to hit balls in the gap and, you know, not settle for the singles anymore. The enemy of good is great. One of the best lines I've ever heard from Clinton Hurdle, the manager of the Pirates. And
whom you played for in Colorado?
He was our hitting coach for the Colorado Rockies. Buddy Bell was the manager back then. And
eventually Clint became the manager there, but after you moved on. 1-2 count on Dustin Williams, who was walked and struck out today. Outside from Schmidt. Well, Clark Schmidt's older brother, Clayton Schmidt, 8 days ago pitched for Clemson against Oklahoma State. The Cowboys beat Clayton Schmidt. The final was 12-2. Then they beat Clemson again a day later and won the regional. So now here's Clark Schmidt, the younger brother, who's a sophomore. His brother Clayton was drafted yesterday by the Tigers in the 20th round. He finished his senior year at Clemson. Oklahoma State, with a win here, would head to Omaha for the first time since 1999. Strike three at the knees. Gets Williams. 1 out.
Well, just a fastball right down the middle freezes up Williams. Full count. Fastball's coming, and just Clark Schmidt just buries him. I think Clark Schmidt does a good job of hiding the ball a little bit too, so it's kind of deceptive in a way. And sometimes balls that look hittable for a hitter aren't that hittable.
On the way to Ryan Sluter. Fly to left and pop to second. By a strange fluke of the scoring, and that's a good way to try to stay cool. The 3 runs allowed by Schmidt are considered earned runs. But the 2 costly errors pushed that inning along, and Oklahoma State scored the 3 in the 5th.
Well, Clark Schmidt's been great today. I mean, 84 pitches now, and Braden Webb was great yesterday. Oklahoma State just does a fantastic job of taking advantage of mistakes, as small as they may be.
You look at it down the roster, only 3 seniors on the roster for South Carolina. Lots of freshmen and sophomore. This is a program that didn't make the postseason, the NCAA tournament last year, so not a lot of NCAA tournament experience coming into this year. Lost the first game of their regional to Rhode Island.
Well, any pitch in any count. Clark Schmidt on a 2-1 predictable fastball count actually throws a slider there right down the middle for strike, but Ryan Sluter looking for something straight and hard and didn't get it.
Protective swing by Sluter keeps it 2-2. Only 2 teams in history since the Super Regional round began in '99 have lost a regional first game that they've hosted and a Super Regional first game they've hosted and made it to Omaha. One came in the first year, 1999, with Rice. And in 2008, Florida State were able to make it to Omaha despite that. South Carolina trying to become the 3rd. Still 2-2 on Sluter. Over but low and a full count. He pitched the at-bat coming to Ryan Sluter. And he strikes him out. Back-to-back Ks for Clark Schmidt, who's now fan 5.
Clark Schmidt very confident in his accuracy, whether it's a fastball or whether it's a slider. And right there on a 3-2 count, just buries that slider on the outside corner. Tough for any hitter to stay on that pitch.
Look at the Cowboys in-game box score. A couple hits for Benj. 6 total hits for the Cowboys. He scored their 3 runs in the 5th. Cowboys won here yesterday 5-1, so a win here today. They win this Columbia Super Regional and head to Omaha.
Clark Schmidt only a sophomore. South Carolina gets him back next year, and he was their Friday night starter all year. So
couldn't get him to chase just off the outside corner. Clark Schmidt, second team All-SEC this year. He's now tied teammate Braden Webb for the SEC lead in strikeouts with 128. They were tied coming into the Super Regional. Webb had 5 yesterday, and now Schmidt has 5 here to tie him back up. Outside corner strike, and it's 3-2. .95 pitches thrown down by Schmidt. Challenged him with the fastball, and it's fouled back.
Clark Schmidt being more aggressive on the 8-hole hitter, John Littell, throwing fastballs on 3-2.
Was off speed and just missed inside, and he walks Littell.
Well, with the 9-hole hitter at the row coming up, I mean, it's not the end of the world that you walk a guy with 2 outs. Wouldn't want to do it with no outs, but that was his thinking on throwing that slider right there.
Tyler Johnson now up in the South Carolina bullpen. So he had the magnificent start to clinch the regional when they threw him out there and just told him, oh, yeah, let's get 2 innings, 3, 4, and it just kept piling up 1 inning after another. And Ted Holbrook said, keep going out there, man, and they got the win. He got the complete game. One inside to Colin Thoreau. Singled into third. And then in a backhanded way, Todd, an important play that he was unable to put the bunt down. He came up with Littell at first, nobody out in the 5th. So then Littell just stole second, and he was there at second base when Davis hit the ground ball to short. That Mooney tried to go to second base and get Littell and threw it away, and that's when things started going downhill for South Carolina.
Well, and Colin Thoreau is a great defender, and we didn't give him enough credit yesterday on the play at home plate. J.R. Davis throws it home a little high. Colin Thoreau leaps up, makes the catch, and makes the tag, and holds on to the baseball, which was just an incredible play for Colin Thoreau behind the plate yesterday.
Another check on Littell. Thoreau last year was drafted by the Twins in the 33rd round, came back, played college ball, and this year selected in the 32nd round by the Athletics yesterday. Check swing on a ball up. Oklahoma State tied a school record with 11 MLB draft picks this year, tying 2007 for them. A&M had the most, 13. Southern California doesn't, and Mississippi State and Oklahoma State third most with 11. 100th pitch of the game from Schmidt. Really spin it out of there.
And this might be it for Clark Schmidt if he walks Colin Thoreau here. They got Tyler Johnson, who they love in the pen, South Carolina. The crowd doesn't like any timeouts in this ballpark, do they?
They like the pace to be fast. There's a strike. Strike on the outside corner, 3-2.
So now the runner will be in motion, 2 outs. 3-2 count on Colin Thoreau. Any ball in the gap will score Littell from first base.
Strike 3 on the inside corner. Clark Schmidt fans 3, and then there's a little jawn at the end, and the plate umpire Danny Collins motions Thoreau to go back to his own dugout.
Well, Colin Thoreau didn't like the call, but Oklahoma State can't afford to lose him behind the plate, and just a quality inside pitch for Clark Schmidt to get out of the inning, and he is fired up right now.
To the top of the 7th inning from Founders Park in Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina needs to rally and win to extend it to a decisive third game tomorrow. An Oklahoma State win, and they head to Omaha in the College World Series for the first time since 1999. So the outs starting to dwindle here for the Gamecocks. They have the 6, 7, and 8 part of the order up in the top of the 7th. They're the visiting team in this game on their home field, and Jonah Bride leads off.
Well, it really is incredible what Oklahoma State pitching has done. In the 4 games they've played, only 5 earned runs, which is best in the NCAA tournament this year.
Well, there's some confusion because South Carolina is saying that shouldn't have been a pitch, because they still thought that we had not come back from the TV break. Not to pull back the curtain here on what goes on, but when that individual is standing on the field, that indicates that we're still in break. But the pitch was counted as a strike. That's down in the dirt. It's 1-1.
Well, to finish my point, Mark, I mean, South Carolina scored 51 runs in the regionals. That's the most for any team since 2012. And for Oklahoma State to come do what they've done to this offense in these 2 games, or game and a half, has been pretty impressive.
An ERA that's now less than 1 when you include 6 scoreless innings they've thrown today. They've not lost to the NCAA tournament. The only other team that hasn't lost so far in the tournament, regionals and supers, is Florida State. They've got a chance to close out the top overall seed Florida later tonight in Gainesville. All right, he's grounded to third. Fly to center. Off the pitcher, but it caroms right to Walton. Count that as a 1-6-3 put out of Bride. Well, you see the great numbers for Oklahoma State's pitching. The flip side of that, in these 2 super regional games for the Gamecocks, 11 hits, only 1 extra base hit, and that was a home run in the 9th yesterday from Don Thompson-Williams.
And again, as you'll always hear, Mark, great pitching beats great hitting any day of the week. Trey Cobb and Thomas Hatch just did an incredible job for Oklahoma State yesterday. Now here we see Tyler Buffett dealing today.
2 balls, no strikes. Big rip at the 2-0 pitch by Stokes. It's just time right now for South Carolina trying to get something going offensively, and that may be the start. Stokes gets it past Davis. A one-out single ends a string of 6 in a row set down by Oklahoma State's Tyler Buffett.
Anything helps, and on a 2-1 pitch fastball, Madison Stokes stays inside. The ball's right down the middle. Drives it to right field. J.R. Davis had him shaded up the middle. Gets South Carolina going here in the top of the 7th.
You see Arendis had 2 very good at bats today. Singled his last time up, lined out to center his first time. Picks up high, ball 1. Past Walton and into center. Sluter plays it in. A hit for Arendis. 2 on, 1 out. Walton was very close to catching this as it was sinking, but it skipped by for a single.
And that just shows how good Donnie Walton and their defense is. That's a base hit up the middle. You see Tyler Buffett almost put his bare hand out to try to catch it, which is a big no-no. And then Donnie Walton was in perfect position. That's just a solid base hit up the middle, but almost a double play for Oklahoma State. And the Gamecocks are alive here. Rob Walton coming out to the mound.
With a tying run coming to the plate, and Mooney, who's 2 for 2 today. Rob Walton visits the mound. I'll remind you that tonight on ESPN after Sunday Night Baseball, it's Sports Center at Night with John Bucci-Gross and John Anderson. They'll have all the highlights of Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, Euro 2016, Major League Baseball, and a preview of Game 5 between the Cavs and Warriors, as well as the rest of the day in sports. Sports Center at Night tonight after Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Right-hander Mertz is up. Left-hander Garrett Williams also loosening. But mainly it's Mertz, the right-hander, is actually on the bullpen mound. Buffett had sent down 6 in a row before the base hit by Stokes. Now Arendis has followed that with a hit. Here's Mooney representing the tying run.
Like you mentioned, Marcus Mooney 2 for 2 today. Base hit to right in the 5th inning. 9-hole hitter, but hit 310 on the year.
Plays down a bunt, and it rolls foul about a third of the way up the line.
A little interesting with 1 out to try to bunt the ball, but that's clearly a bunt for a base hit. And if it stays about 3 inches more to the right, it is a base hit. Of course, Ben's playing back with 1 out. Anytime those infielders that give you a bunt base hit, you take it. Just barely missed, and you definitely don't want to put that in play to make an out. So you either bunt it foul or perfect. That's what Marcus Mooney did there.
Towards third, this could be a pair. To second out, relayed by Davis. Close. Out is the call. And the inning over. 5-4-3. 70th double play of the season turned by Oklahoma State. Gets him out of the jam.
Well, just a ground ball to third base. Oklahoma State does what they do best, turn double plays, and they did it again right there. Great transfer from J.R. Davis to get the third out of the inning. Clears himself from the runner, beats the runner by almost half a step. Great defense by Oklahoma State.
Well, Tyler Johnson coming into the game now. He was the starter and went the distance in the deciding game of the Columbia Regional against UNC Wilmington. I think the hope when he started this game, Todd, was maybe you get 3, 4, maybe 5 innings out of him. What does he do? He goes 9 and wins the thing, and they move on.
Incredible outing for Tyler Johnson. As you can see there, just hitting spots. He's a competitor right there, and I mean, he's the reason they're in the position they're in for South Carolina. Again, keep in mind, This team won the East. I mean, over the #1 team in the country in Florida. Tyler Johnson with a fastball, 91 to 94. He's got a plus slider and can locate in and out. He's very accurate. Can elevate the pitch to try to get a strikeout. Very wiry on the mound.
Now to play right side. Off the bat of Davis. Top of the order up for the Cowboys. Bottom of the 7th. They're up 3-0. And with a win are headed to Omaha. The College World Series for the first time since 1999, but the 20th time in school history. Up the middle and through for a base hit. First of the Super Regional for J.R. Davis.
Well, you can't keep 355 hitters down for very long. J.R. Davis struck out in the 1st and struck out in the 3rd, had a good at bat in the 5th, and now a base hit up the middle here in the 7th inning. And the leadoff runner on, which is always important.
Corey Hassel put down the safety squeeze in his last plate appearance in the 5th.
And they'll do it again.
Shortens up and takes a strike.
When you're behind 3-0, Mark, you're going to try to bang balls and gaps and try to catch up. But when you're ahead, it's always important just to squeeze one more run across as an insurance run, and especially in the later part of this game. J.R. Davis does have 9 bags in 11 attempts.
Runner takes off, throw down to second. He's easily out as Davis, the way he broke from first, it's like he thought there was a hit and run or bunt or something that was going on, because he wasn't going full speed.
And that's a good call, Mark. Almost like a hit and run where you just want to make sure the pitcher goes home. Kind of stuttered a little bit in between the bags when he swung and missed. John Jones with a perfect throw down to second base for the out.
So an easy caught stealing. Davis caught for the 3rd time this year at 12 attempts, and Hassel called out on strike. So the complexion of this inning changes on 2 pitches. Bases empty, 2 outs for Tyler Johnson.
Pretty dramatically, too. Tyler Johnson only thrown 4 pitches and has 2 outs.
Bases empty for Donnie Walton. Strike 1 from Johnson, whose complete game win against UNC Wilmington. It's his first career complete game. 10-1 was the final. Now to play left side.
And the 7th strike in a row thrown from Tyler Johnson.
Tyler Johnson, the primary closer this year for South Carolina. 8 of his 9 saves came in SEC play. In fact, he had one weekend where he saved all 3 games in a series at Alabama back in mid-May. Up and away, and it's 2-2. Johnson was the Columbia Regional MVP. Won 2 games, 1 in relief against Duke, and then that start against UNC Wilmington. Early strikes out Walton.
An elevated fastball from Tyler Johnson there on a 2-2 count. I mean, that's hard for any hitter to catch up to, especially at 92 miles an hour.
We're going to the 8th. Top of the order coming up for South Carolina. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. Game 2 of this best of 3. Columbia Super Regional going to the top of the 8th. South Carolina, the visiting team in this game on their home field, down 3-0. They lost here yesterday 5-1. So Oklahoma State 6 defensive outs away from heading to the College World Series for the first time since 1999.
Oklahoma State is really focused on Gene Cohn. It pitched him perfectly in the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. With a ground out to second, ground ball to 1st, and then a strikeout in the 5th. All quality pitches to Gene Cohn. If South Carolina's going to get it done, this is the inning to do it. 1-2-3 coming up.
Jumps out of the way. An inside one from Buffett, who in his last start in the Clemson Regional. Threw 106 pitches, which was a season high for him. This next pitch from him will be number 106 today. Pulled foul.
He got Gene Cone last at bat on an inside pitch, way inside, that Gene Cone had to fish at because he had called the pitch before on the inside corner. And as a hitter, it's difficult to get that out of your head. If he throws any kind of off speed, it might keep Gene Cone off balance and out in front. At this point, it's very difficult as a hitter to know what's coming.
Just missed low, and it's a full count.
But not very much difficult to know what's coming now. Full count, fastball. Tyler Buffett is throwing these fastballs in perfect spots today.
Fouled off left side.
That one's right down the middle.
Walked him. That is the first walk allowed today by Tyler Buffett. Let's check in with the studio and say hey again to Brendan Fitzgerald.
Hey, Mark, well, coming up next on ESPN2, Florida State is one win away from a trip to Omaha. The Seminoles still looking for its first ever national championship. That's next, guys. Back to you.
Well, Brendan, thanks very much. Florida State and Oklahoma State, the only two teams that have yet to lose in this NCAA tournament. Thoreau makes a visit out to the mound. We remind you that for more coverage of the Division I Baseball Super Regionals and interactive brackets, go online to ncaa.com. That's the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Tyler Buffett with 107 pitches already. Nobody's up in the Oklahoma State bullpen. They had Michael Mertz and Garrett Williams up earlier.
TJ Hopkins, the center fielder, is 0 for 3 today. Buffett makes a pitch on the outside corner. Hopkins has grounded out twice, flied out once. Fouled near the plate.
That's what makes Tyler Buffett so good. I mean, a fastball on the outside corner for strike one, and then a perfect pitch on the inside corner, sinking into TJ Hopkins for strike two. Right side of the infield's open. First base holding the runner on. J.R. Davis in double play depth.
Slow roller. Only hope for Oklahoma State is that it goes foul, and it does 2/3 of the way up the line.
Very smart. The thought process there is if you can get the guy, you go ahead and pick up the ball and throw him out. But if you can't, there's no reason in the world to touch this ball. Even if it goes fair, you weren't going to get him anyway, and it goes foul. Good break for Oklahoma State.
You mentioned good break for Oklahoma State, and I'm sure the Gamecock fans right now are saying, when are we going to catch a break in this Super Regional?
And that's a big part of baseball, too. We talked about the pitching. I mean, Oklahoma State's almost been perfect on defense, and they've got the key hits, but another factor is getting some good fortune.
Lays off the Buffett breaking ball in the dirt. Well, Thoreau's had such a nice Super Regional that he's been catching some flack from the local fans here. They booed him on a few occasions, which I think he probably is wearing as a badge of honor. It's been a thorn in their side. They're busting him in. Hopkins started to go, but held up and takes inside. 2-2.
Another quality pitch for Tyler, even though that ball was called a ball. Starts off on the inside corner and tails inside. Could have gone either way. Daniel Collins calls it ball 2.
Cone led off the inning with a walk. In the top of the 8th. Foul right over to the Oklahoma State dugout, which is normally the South Carolina dugout, but today they switch. Over by Rob Walton charting pitches. With 2-2 on Hopkins. Goes full.
Now Oklahoma State has somebody up, warming up, right-handed pitcher in the bullpen. 3-2 pitch. Ordinarily, you'd send the guy in motion if you hope that T.J. Hopkins does not strike out. But down 3-0, I don't know if it's worth the gamble.
Tyler Buffett thinking right along with you, and he checks on Cone.
T.J. Hopkins with 37 strikeouts on the year. A little high.
Lines it up the middle and into center field. The base hit for Hopkins. Well, you could tell where Thoreau was setting up. He wanted that ball in, and Buffett left it over the plate, and Hopkins hammered it straight up the middle.
And a lot of times that's what you do as a pitcher. You're a little afraid to throw it too far inside, and certainly don't want to hit him. And you leave it out over the middle of the plate. T.J. Hopkins does what you're supposed to do with that fastball, and he pounds it up the middle for a base hit. South Carolina with a little action here with nobody out, first and second. Dom Thompson-Williams up.
And Oklahoma State is going to make a pitching change. So Tyler Buffett goes 7 innings plus 2 batters into the 8th. And we'll step aside here in Columbia. Oklahoma State scored all 3 of their runs in the 5th. They lead 3-0 with the tying run coming to the plate for South Carolina. And nobody out. Buffett pitched well again today. 7 innings. 8 hits allowed. 1 walk, 4 Ks. The 2 runners on base are his responsibility. So the book not quite closed on him, but no runs allowed to this point.
And again, think about this again. I mean, 51 runs scored by South Carolina in 5 regional games that they just went through. Lost the first game, won the next 4. 51 runs, and so far Tyler Buffett and Thomas Hatch has shut that team down. I mean, it's incredible what those 2 starters have done for Oklahoma State.
So Michael Mertz takes over. 6'2", 210-pound junior from Pflugerville, Texas, near Austin. JUCO transfer from Cisco College. He inherits runners at first and second, nobody out, and Dom Thompson-Williams, who has the only extra base hit of this Super Regional for South Carolina, which was a home run in the 9th yesterday.
Michael Mertz, 39 walks on the year and only 50 innings. That's a high walk total. So you could classify that as effectively wild. 58 strikeouts, so he is a strikeout pitcher. More strikeouts than innings pitched. And this is the situation as a hitter where you're anxious and you want to get something done and you want to do it quickly, but it's very important, as Dom Thompson-Williams on that first pitch, to be patient and wait on a pitch you can hit. Michael Mertz isn't going to throw it down the middle early, but he may make a mistake late.
Almost hit Dom Thompson-Williams inside for ball 2.
almost an impossible situation for some of these relievers to come in situations like this. We saw Garrett Williams on 4 straight balls yesterday. Michael Marks with 2 balls in a row here in a big situation. You can't recreate this type of atmosphere in these type of games. And for Michael Mertz, this is probably the first time he's been in this situation with this crowd and this environment.
It's the outside corner, 2-1.
And a quality strike when he needed it the most on the outside corner from Michael Mertz.
Balls in a strike.
And this as a hitter is where it's difficult, Mark. I mean, do you swing at the 3-1 when you know it's a fastball? Michael Mertz will split the plate on this one. Or do you be patient and assume at 3-2 he's going to throw the similar pitch or walk you? And so that's what's going through Don Thompson's mind right now. He already took a swing at a 3-1 pitch his last at bat, grounded out to second base.
Pops it up. Center field, hit pretty well, deep enough to advance the lead runner, it appears. Sluter's throw comes in, and Cohn advances to third. So Don Thompson-Williams flies to center for the first out.
Well, just another example where South Carolina needs something big to happen from their 3, 4, 5 guys and don't get it. They get the fly ball to the outfield for out number 1. It does advance Gene Cohn to third base. But they don't need 1 run, they need 3.
So they're at the corners with 1 out for the cleanup hitter, the DH, Alex Destino.
And a great job by Sluter to hit shortstop Walton and leave the runner at first base to keep the double play in order.
Destino singled to right back in the 4th. He's also struck out and grounded out. He leads South Carolina with 10 homers. He leads them in RBIs with 59. Gets away. Here comes Cohn with the first South Carolina run, and it's 3-1.
The only way to lose leads is to walk guys, to make errors, and to throw bad pitches. Not going to be easy for South Carolina to bang out enough hits to score 3 runs, but if you start walking guys and kicking the ball around the infield, then they can come back.
Cohn scoots in on the wild pitch. Hopkins down to second, so not only does a run come in, but now the double play is not in order any longer. And a 1-0 count on Destino.
And Michael Mertz is trying to throw that Greg Maddux ball that comes inside and crosses back over the plate and just left it hanging a little low 2 times already.
Destino hits it to the right side, tops it to J.R. Davis. And Hopkins over to third. And Oklahoma State gets the second out of the inning. And a big one there for them.
Gamecocks are just dying for a key hit. In these last 2 games, they've been in both games. I mean, they just lack that 1 hit. And again, the spark plug, John Jones, putting this lineup for this reason, is up to the plate.
Jimmy Reed there on the right. He's been up for a while. Joined by Williams.
Michael Mertz already 1 wild pitch. Certainly does not want to throw a second one to give South Carolina their second run.
Outside to the catcher, John Jones.
Which changes Michael Mertz's pitch sequence. Instead of coming inside now, he's kind of relegated to just throwing it, that ball he just threw, that sinker away, and hopefully hit that outside corner if you're Michael Mertz.
Gets the call on the outside corner that time, 1-1.
Generous call there. Home plate by Daniel Collins. Ball across the plate on the outside part of the plate, probably off, and then went it even further. Instead of 2-0, it's 1-1.
And he offers at that one to take it to 1-2.
And now for John Jones, all you're thinking about is squaring that ball and putting it up in play somewhere. Be quick and just put it in play. There's no cheating going on anymore. Even if you have to reach out and hit that outside ball to left side and down the third base line. You got to do it.
Center field, Sluter going back, and he's there to make the catch. Jones did put it in play, hit it well, but flies to center. Carolina settles for one. They trail it by 2.
The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase every day. And in part by Burger King. Now you can get 2 delicious Whopper meals for just $10. Only at Burger King.
Cocky trying to keep this crowd up because they're going to be down by at least 2 going to the 9th. Oklahoma State bats here home half of the 8th. Leading it by 2. Garrett Benj, the cleanup hitter, leads off for the Cowboys. First pitch strike from Tyler Johnson. Benj with a couple of hits today, both singles and 3 times up. Towards first. Nicely speared by Stokes, who takes it himself. 3 unassisted. That ball looked like it was ticketed down the right field line. And nice play by Stokes to take what would have been the 3rd hit of the game away from Benj.
Great defensive line for South Carolina here. Stokes with a stab down the line, taking extra bases away from Garrett Benj. Nice play by Madison Stokes.
South Carolina got the leadoff hitter on base for the first time in the game in the top of this inning. Did get a run, but still could not get the key hit. They're 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position today. First pitch strike to Connor Costello, the DH. Oklahoma State's only 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position today, but they got some help from a couple of errors in the 5th. And the Pokes scored their 3 runs.
Tyler Johnson pounding the zone. Only 2 balls thrown. 12 strikes.
Ball at 92 from Johnson is outside. Second inning of work for Tyler Johnson. Check swing on the high fastball. Costello today with a base hit in the 4th. It's 1 for 3. Which has extended his hitting streak 10 games. Down looking. Johnson's now fanned 3 of the last 4 Cowboy hitters.
Just a perfect tight slider from Tyler Johnson there on the outside corner. After throwing all those fastballs, he's come back with a slider there outside corner. Tough pitch to hit. Connor Costello didn't like it. 2 outs.
Nobody aboard for Dustin Williams, first baseman. First pitch fastball that he swings through, strike 1.
Tyler Johnson's a very talented kid, sophomore out of Midlothian, Virginia. South Carolina gets him back next year also.
Oklahoma State 3 in the 4th. South Carolina scored 1 in the top of this 8th.
First high fastball was 93. That one registered at 89, but didn't look much different than the first pitch. Those pitches look so good for a hitter, but so difficult to square up.
Back towards the middle, and it's a hop past Mooney and into center field. Mooney got a strange hop on that one, could not collect it, and Williams is on with 2 outs. Base hit.
Yeah, a little squirrely off the bat there, a little inside out, right to left spin, and when Mooney let it hop, it was just very difficult to catch that short hop. Even if he catches it with his body, it's probably going to be difficult to get Dustin Williams out at first base.
Ryan Sluter, the hitter, is 0 for 3 today, hacking at that first pitch fastball and fouls it back. Home run he hit his first time up yesterday. Ranking is one of the big hits in this Super Regional. And held hitless today, 0 for 3. Fastball at 92, paints that outside corner.
Ryan Sluter, 6'2". Big kid playing center field. Has not made an error all year long in center field. Junior from Texas.
Looking ahead to the South Carolina 9th. They're going to trail it by at least 2. Down to their final at bat with a 6, 7, and 8 part of the order due up. Bride, Stokes, and Arendis. Check swing, strike 3. Last chance, though, for South Carolina. Oklahoma State 3 defensive outs away from Omaha. Time for our impact performance of today's game, brought to you by Capital One. And it's a starting pitcher for Oklahoma State, Tyler Buffett.
Yeah, Tyler Buffett was just awesome today. Grounds the double play right there, or induces the double play. Gets out of that inning. I mean, he's been doing what he's been doing, man. Only his 4th start, but again, Josh Holliday called him his winner. And he's certainly in position to win today.
Tyler Buffett today, in Capital One Cup impact performance. Has chance for South Carolina. Oklahoma State hasn't been to Omaha since 1999. 3 outs away. Trey Cobb got the save here yesterday. He'll try to close it out. Connor Bride leads off. It's the 6, 7, and 8 hitters.
Trey Cobb with the fastball, 91, 94. You just saw that sinker right there. He's got a tight slider, and he's a strikeout guy. He has more strikeouts than innings pitched. That slider gets it done for Trey Cobb. And obviously the most dependable guy of the pen, used in both days.
2 innings yesterday for Cobb. Allowed 1 run, 2 hits with a walk and 3 Ks. Gave up the home run to Dom Thompson Williams. All right, today is flied out once, grounded out twice, 0 for 3. It's in the air to right field. Corey Hassel towards the line. 1 out. 3 teams are in right now, including UC Santa Barbara. The Sam Cohen walk-off grand slam to eliminate the #2 national seed Louisville earlier today. Arizona got in last night. Miami got in today. And Texas Tech is on the verge with a 10-0 lead over East Carolina in the bottom of the 8th in Lubbock. And Oklahoma State on the verge. 2 outs away. Stokes takes strike 1. "19 trips to Omaha for Oklahoma State, and none since '99. South Carolina, of course, won back-to-back national championships in 2010 and 11, and went to the championship series in 12 against Arizona. Foul outside of third. Gamecocks won the SEC East Division.
Trey Cobb in a position where he knows what he needs to do, and that's just throw strikes. Madison Stokes only 1 home run, and if he did pop it out, they're still ahead. But you certainly don't want to get in a position to walk him.
Gets him to chase the breaking ball. And Oklahoma State 1 out away.
There's that tight slider there for Trey Cobb. For the strikeout, keeps it low.
All one to the senior DC Arendis, one of 3 seniors on the South Carolina roster. Played so well in this NCAA tournament. 2 hits today. South Carolina needs a base runner to have a chance. Strike call. Knock it away. 3 balls and a strike.
And I think this is a good 3-1 take pitch as well. Again, DC Arendis' run doesn't mean anything, but he needs to get on base for the tying run to come to the plate.
Close pitch, but a strike at the knees, and it's 3-2. Cowboys a strike away. Staying alive. Arendis gets a piece of it. Cowboys won here yesterday 5-1. Lead here 3-1. 1 out, 1 strike away from taking the Columbia Super Regional. Another foul. The gritty Arendis trying to keep the South Carolina season alive. Outside, ball 4. Now the tying run's going to come to the plate.
Awesome at bat by DC Arendis to get on base for his brother Marcus Mooney.
2 hits today for Mooney. He has 1 homer on the year, which came back on March 15th against USC Upstate. First pitch strike from Trey Cobb. Once again, the Cowboys a strike away. Back.
Good spoil swing by Marcus Mooney. Perfect pitch by Trey Cobb on the outside corner. In fact, all 3 pitches to Marcus Mooney right here have been very good. You definitely don't want to get in a hitter's count if you're Trey Cobb in this situation.
Got in on him and pulled foul. Oklahoma State is 36-1 this year when leading after 8 innings. Oh, 2 to Mooney. Well down and away and speared by Thoreau. UC Santa Barbara, Miami, and Arizona are in the College World Series. Oklahoma State trying to become the 4th team and halfway fill out the bracket for Omaha. 1-2 pitch. Down the left field side. Foul by about 4 or 5 feet. And that may be the entire weekend in a nutshell for South Carolina.
No doubt about it, Mark. I mean, just inches from being a double and a tying run in scoring position at second base to just being a long, loud strike. And it doesn't seem like South Carolina has had many breaks in these last 2 days. But Oklahoma State has just played great.
And low, 2-2. Base hit left field, and the Gamecocks are still alive. What an at-bat by Mooney, his 3rd hit of the game.
Well, and who would you want more coming to the plate if you're South Carolina than Gene Cone with 2 outs and the season on the line?
He represents the winning run at the plate. If South Carolina can come back, it would force a decisive game tomorrow, but Oklahoma State still 1 out away. Rob Walton, the pitching coach, coming out.
Garrett Williams, a lefty, in the pen.
Todd picked up the save yesterday, throwing 2 innings. We got Cone coming up. Lefty Garrett Williams up.
Instead of the lefty on lefty matchup, Walt decides to stick with Trey Cobb here.
And Remy Reed also up, a right-hander for Oklahoma State.
And these are the moments that superstars are made of, right here.
4 homers this year for Cone. Strike at the knees. Down low, ball and a strike.
Gene Cone's been really impressive in the NCAA tournament. 11 for 26. 5 walks and 8 RBIs, and being very patient here, which is hard to do in a big situation like this, but the right thing to do.
Close, but off the outside corner. Trey Cobb retired the first 2. Arendis battled and worked the walk. Mooney battled and singled.
And if you're Marcus Mooney at first base, without being held on, you've got to get enough lead to score if any ball is in the gap.
Cone to second at J.R. Davis. And for the first time since 1999, Oklahoma State is headed to the College World Series. A bullet hit by Cone. Davis only had to go a step or 2 to his right. And Oklahoma State wins it 3-1, and they're headed to Omaha.
And like you said, partner, it just sums up South Carolina in 2 games. I mean, Oklahoma State pitched extremely well, played great defense, and got the key hits. But for South Carolina, just didn't get any breaks in 2 days.
If that ball goes in the alley, we might have a tie game. We were just talking about
Oklahoma State's in a little trouble, but again, not to take anything away from Oklahoma State, they played perfect, and the reason why now they're 19-5 on the road since March the 1st. And I mean, this team's impressive.
And they're going to go to Omaha unbeaten so far in the NCAA tournament at 5-0. They won yesterday 5-1. They win it 3-1 today, and they take the Columbia Super Regional. Sports Center is coming up next. Well, again, the final score, Oklahoma State 3 and South Carolina 1. And the Oklahoma State Cowboys are headed to Omaha in the College World Series. They're the 4th team into the party. For Todd Walker and our entire crew, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks so much for sharing this one with us. So long from Columbia, South Carolina.